I just saw an article about Doug Christie, the Sacramento Kings coach, told Doug McDermott to foul Seth Curry, like 50 feet from the basket, when they were up with 3 minutes and 15 seconds left in the game. And you lose a timeout at 3 minutes because you're only allowed to carry two. And Doug Christie, that was his excuse. He didn't think they were in the bonus, and so he wanted to foul Seth Curry. And then he would call a timeout because of stoppage, and then he would still have his two left. But he didn't know they were in the bonus. That was his excuse. And then at first people were like, oh, they're tanking because 1/3 of the NBA is losing on purpose right now. So that means literally every team that's not in the playoffs is tanking. So that means it really doesn't matter how good of a team you are, it's who you're playing. Are you playing one of these 10 teams that are tanking on purpose and trying to lose? Because if you are, then boom, you can get better seeding. If you're playing against playoff teams, oh no, we actually have to play and try to win. So Doug Christie, I guess ignorance is an excuse. Not being intelligent is an excuse. Because the league's like, oh, you're not tanking. I would fire him right now. If you don't know and you can't pay attention to whether your team is in the bonus, the big things are, they're definitely not going to be right. If you can't do the little things like know if you're how many timeouts, teams in the bonus or not, like if you don't know that stuff, then your team is screwed. And Doug Christie said that he respects the game too much and it hurts the development of young players to tank. So let's say Doug Christie and the Sacramento Kings aren't in that third. There's 30 teams in the NBA, so that means 10 is the third. So that means 9 teams, Doug Christie is saying that they don't respect the game and they don't care about hurting young players' development. So, if anything, he's saying those 9 teams, their coaches don't respect the game at all, their players don't respect the game, and the coaches don't care at all about their young players. So, Adam Silver says he has big things coming to stop the tanking problem. And I really believe that it's really just a systemic, this is a systemic problem of society that's just reflecting in the NBA right now. And that is no one has any pride and they're willing to do anything and everything to take shortcuts to try to be better quickly, rather than having pride, working hard, doing what you have to do, going through rough times, going through hard times, digging yourself out. The NBA teams don't want to do it, and people that I see all the time, they don't want to do it. They want easy. And I've heard people say this a lot, we live in a microwave society, where they want it now. And I don't see how you fix this. You can start fining them, but there's too much money involved. What are you going to do? How much are you going to fine these teams? They don't care. They're printing money. All these streaming services, all these deals, they're making so much money. Oh no, you've fined us $500,000. Whatever will we do? That's nothing. That's probably one paycheck for not even a top guy on their team. I mean, and it all comes down to pride. If people have pride, then they put it all out there. And I made a video earlier about talking about your reputation. These people do not care that they have a reputation of being quitters. It's not losers. Because I've lost a whole bunch of things in my life. But there's one tennis match that I gave up on. And I think about it every single day of my life. And it's not that I'm dwelling on it and woe is me. It's I want to remember that feeling. Because I never want to quit again. If I lose, I lose. Okay. But to give up, that was a different kind of pain that I felt after. And I want to remember that pain. So I don't give up again. Because I let myself down. I let my partner down. I let my whole team down. Because if we would have won that match and I wouldn't have given up, we would have went to state, and it would have meant something for our school, the tennis team, our coach. And the fact that these players, this is stupid high school tennis. I was never really going to do much else. But these guys are professionals. They're getting paid to do a job, and they can't even do the job to the best of their ability. Tens and tens and tens and hundreds of millions of dollars are being showered all over these players, and yet they don't even have the decency to give it their all. And then I've heard people, well, the players do, it's the coaches, it's the executives, and you really think that if the coaches and the executives have this plan of tanking, the players are really trying their hardest? Because I don't believe that. Because anytime you have a hierarchy of power, whatever the top person, what drives them, their beliefs, how hard they work, it's a trickle-down effect. It just is. If you have a really hard-working boss and he is there first, in first, out last, it's hard to be lazy around that person. It's hard. And not even like them saying, hey, you need to get to work, just like, geez, they're good. Man, they go. But I guess that's poor leadership. So Adam Silver is technically the leader of the NBA by being the NBA commissioner. Just like Roger Goodell is technically the head of the NFL by being the NFL commissioner. So Adam Silver has these things that he's going to do to make it better. I don't know how that's done. I did watch First Things First, a segment today, and one guy says that no matter where you are in the lottery, it's the exact same percentage. Now, I believe the lottery is 14. Well, because 16 teams get into the playoffs, technically, because the play-in has 4. So 20 total are playing to get into the playoffs by the end of the regular season. And then the 2 teams that lose in the West and East will also get a chance, a very small, like a smaller, way smaller percentage than the 14% the number 1 gets, but they'll still have a chance to get the number 1 overall pick in the lottery. And so a third of the league is tanking. How can you take the product seriously? Like, the best teams, are they really the best teams? Or did they get to play those 10 teams a lot that are tanking? And it just, you can pad stats. Just, it throws everything into question. Because, again, on First Things First, they were talking about SGA. And that if he wins another MVP, if they go on to win the championship and he gets the NBA Finals MVP, there's only like 5 or 6 guys that have done that. The only guards that have done it are Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson, I think. And so they're saying how great Shea is, but everything, just like in the Major League Baseball, everybody puts an asterisk about any numbers during the steroid era. Well, during the tanking era, the load management era, which would obviously include tanking, there has to be an asterisk next to all the stats. Has to be. It throws everything into question, your league. And with all these teams tanking and all these people betting on everything, how can you bet correctly? You don't know. I guess you do know that they're going to tank, so it's easy to win that money. I don't understand with all their corruption in politics and business and literally everything, that gambling is on the up and up. If you believe that, you deserve to lose your money. And there's a lot of people that say that's the only reason sports are popular is because of gambling. So because of greed, sports are popular. Not for the love of the game, not enjoyment of watching. Because of greed. And the ability to win big, which most people do not. Well, correction, 99.9% will end up losing if you bet long enough.